Alright everybody, welcome back. Are you a German main? Do you want to have your dream historical matchmaker fighting props every game in the Messerschmitt 262? Well, do I have a deal for you? For the low price of only $77, I can... And I'm just going to stop right there. Yeah, so this ME262, this is the ME262 A-2A, is sitting at a battle rating of 6.7. And 6.7 Germany gets a lot of down tiers in RRB. I think it's probably because of the JU288 spam, I'm not 100% sure, but this plane gets constant prop matchmaker. It is hilarious. You may be asking, well, there has to be a catch, right? So what do you give up to go from 7.0 with the ME262 Yabo and the normal ME262 A1A to get this plane at 6.7? Well, it's quite simple. You just lose 2 guns. And these are MK108s anyways, so they hit like a truck. So you go from having 4 MK108s to having 2, which still absolutely slams, just like you just saw right there. And in exchange, you get a 0.3 lower battle rating, which gives you a much better matchmaker. And get this thing also gets a Strike Fighter air spawn. So you get this air spawn with the fastest plane at the BR, really, while also having some really competent guns. You can see why this thing is pretty competitive already. So, just like the P-59 that I made a video on recently, we have another case of a jet and a prop matchmaker. So what this does for you is, of course, you're faster than pretty much everyone else, but you do give up some stuff as well. So with the ME262 in particular, it's not incredibly maneuverable. It doesn't turn bad by any means, but in comparison to most of the props you're going to be fighting, almost all of them are going to turn inside of you. There are a few exceptions, and I'll go over those later on, but for the most part, you're not really going to be able to turn with somebody. Now you do have some nice energy retention, which allows you to do stuff like what I just did with the A1H right there. Although it is a little bit less of a concern because he was running a bunch of napalm and decided to turn type me anyways for some reason. But in any case, you can see you're able to easily take people in the vertical, and your extra speed that you get just from being a jet-powered aircraft is going to really help you in that case. On the other hand, because this is an early jet, it comes with very lackluster acceleration. And so this means you're going to want to make sure you keep out of situations where you're slow or you're turning with somebody, because unlike, a later jet, something like a Sabre or MiG, it's going to take you much longer to actually go ahead and get back up to speed. This also translates into your climb rate. This thing does not have a good climb rate. Now, most of the time it's mitigated in game because you do get an air spawn, but for the most part, you're not going to be able to climb up to stuff like B-29 and other things like that, at least not without a lot of effort put in. Going back to that turn performance, here's a plane I can actually dogfight in this matchmaker, and this is the F7F. He's trying to eat me for breakfast, but unfortunately the F7F is not that great in a dogfight, and so I'm actually able to keep up with him. Now, it's not as if I'm turning really inside of him, it's just close enough that I'm able to get my guns on. If he was a better shot right here, I would have died. I made the mistake of going in a head-on. I didn't feel comfortable trying to turn again with him because I was starting to get slow. But it's a case of a plane you can actually somewhat dogfight. But most of these props, stuff like a P-51H, especially stuff like the F-4Us, you cannot dogfight. You will die if you do so. Now, you're not always going to be getting down tiers. I have had a few up tiers, like this is a slight one to 7.0. Most of my games have been 5.7, 6.7. I'd say another, maybe quarter of them have been 6.0, 7.0. And I've had maybe 10 or 15% up tier, either 7.3 or 7.7. But still, in these 7.0 matches, you still are not really going to have any issues whatsoever, because you're basically at the BR you should be at then. You do still have to worry about the swarm, if you see these P-51s in front of me. So I would not recommend charging straight in. You can see I'm going to turn away and see if any of them decide to try and follow me. I'm going to gain a little bit more speed and try and gain a little bit of altitude as well while I'm at it. I'm just going to stick my nose up like 3 or 5 degrees, run away for a little bit, and then turn back in once I think there's enough separation. As you can see, there wasn't actually enough, and so I am going to get nicked in this head-on by the P-51, but luckily he only has 50 cals, and so it doesn't really do any damage to me. I would not recommend doing full commit head-on with anybody. Just throw some shots and get out of the way, and you're going to have to aim up a lot when you do so, because these guns are incredibly slow. You can probably tell I'm getting super close before I take any shots. These MK108s, I love them because they hit like a truck, but they're also incredibly slow. They're slowest guns on the jet, and they're one of the slowest guns in the game overall as far as I'm aware. I think only the Ki-44 Tuatsu has slower guns than this. And you can really feel it. These things have a hard time hitting stuff past like 500 meters in front of you. So don't even try and spray. Your shells just probably won't even get there. I don't know if you saw earlier when I was fighting that F7F, but when in the head-on, my shells actually exploded before they got to him. Because they were so slow, the timer on the shells ran out before I could get there. And I only shot at like, I think like 1.8. But as long as they connect, they kill. Almost every single time. Pretty much every time I've hit somebody with these, they've either been killed or they've been critically damaged, like a lot. But most of the time you're going to be flying this thing, you're just going to be zooming in and out of fights, clicking on people, getting a kill, and then zooming away again. You're essentially the master of boom and zoom, and you have guns that hit like a truck as well. So as long as you can get good at aiming these, because I'm telling you these are very difficult to aim, you're not going to have any issues whatsoever. In your up tiers, you are going to have to worry about fighting people that can actually catch you, but I'm telling you, most of these games I've had have been down tier, so would highly recommend picking this thing up if you're looking for air. Now, this thing is also good as cast and ground RB, surprisingly. In exchange for losing 2 of its 30 mils, the A-2A actually is able to carry 2 bombs as well. In this case, 2 250 kilogram bombs, and these are perfectly fine. That miss right there was entirely my fault. The positioning is really strange for me. I'm not used to having them up on the nose like that. I'm used to them being much more near like the center of the aircraft, so it really throws me off whenever I'm trying to aim with them. Once you get used to them, 250 kilos is not a bad loadout at all. You'll be able to get plenty of kills this way, especially because you're faster than pretty much everything at 6.7, and you can run this with the Arado as well, and so then you can have 2 jet-powered bomb dropper thingamabobs in your 6.7 German lineup, which is also really strong. Now, after you run out of your bombs, you still have your 230 mils, and they are MK108, so they're not able to kill armor targets, but you're going to be seeing a lot of open tops in this Matchmaker. Like you saw that M18 I just killed right there. You got stuff like the M36, the M56, you got your AAs as well. And so you can just kind of loiter around waiting for open tops and just pop them. Because these 30mm mine shells have a ton of explosive filler. And so if you just get a shell inside, almost every single time you're going to one-shot them. And you also have plenty of ammo. You can kind of loiter, killing more and more of these vehicles. You can see I'm one-shotting almost every single one of these things. And I'm also able to go ahead and kill any planes that show up as well, because, I mean, most ground pilots aren't the best when it comes to air-to-air. And as is a 262, it's also very competent in the air-to-air role as well. In any case, though, I hope you all enjoyed this video. This is a really fun plane for me to fly. I'm going to be doing some more after I finish making this video. And if any of y'all have it, I recommend giving it another shot, seeing how the Matchmaker is for you. So, in any case, I hope y'all enjoy the video. Catch y'all next time. So, peace, y'all.